Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Want to give all praises to Yahweh,
All praise to Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai,
Bashem,
Rak, Rashim, Rakadash.
Yeah, double honors to all the elders and apostles in Israel, who rule and teach well, to the Akims on the highways and byways, pushing this word in truth and sincerity, to the brothers and sisters in the truth. Now, what's been happening, that the Most High has been sending plagues, for scourges of amendment. And our people ain't really taking heed to what's happening, they're still doing their own thing, not repenting, no matter what the Most High does. So if you drop that second Esdras.
Just as like as the brother Abidyah was saying that how people is not hearing and not repenting. Brother Abidyah, would you like me to do Hosea 5:15 before I do second Ezra's?
Yeah, whatever, man, bring it out.
Yeah. Okay, this is the book of Hosea, chapter 5, verse 15, and it reads, "I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early."
Yeah, and
Just
that,
what the brother was. Sorry,
go
go ahead.
on.
Okay, now just referring to what the brother Abidyah said a little while ago, how like all this happening and and nobody's taking heed to what's going on. They're still going about their daily business like it's all good.
That's true. And the thing is, our people, that's the only time they tend to turn to the Most High. When things get really hot and man can't really save them, that's when they actually realize that they've actually got a power and they want to turn to the Most High. Says he's going
God.
to return to his place until they acknowledge their offense. And the ones that actually, when it talks about acknowledge their offense, the only ones that's really going to acknowledge their offense is the elect of Israel. You know what I'm saying? 2/3
Yeah,
is
true.
going on in their daily lives, still getting whooped by the Most High and not even acknowledging it. You know what I'm saying? So you want to bring that out in second
Right,
Ezra?
yep. Second Ezra 16, verse 19. "Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are set as scourges for amendment."
Yeah, so these things now, they're sent as scourges for amendment, meaning, for us to rectify our ways, to change our ways. But go on, what did it say?
Verse 20. "But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness,
And that's
nor..."
mm, I
Sorry,
was going to
go
say
on.
that's our people, they love the wickedness that they're in. So no matter how much the Lord sends tribulation upon them, it says they won't turn from their wickedness. Go on.
"Nor be always mindful of the scourges."
And yeah, that's true. Our people ain't mindful of the things that they're doing, of what the Most High is doing at the end of the day. They don't really acknowledge that these things are sent from the Most High, from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh. They don't acknowledge that,
God.
you know. Let me see. And if you got anything you want to add as well, just chime in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. Get second Revelation 16:9. Revelation 16:9.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 16, verse 9. And it reads, "And men were scourged with great heat
Mm.
and blasphemed the name of God, which has power over these plagues."
And you hear that? It says,
And they,
hold on. It says that
yep,
they were scourged, and instead of repenting, acknowledging where they're going off, it says that they blaspheme. So they got even worse. They started to curse the Most High. This is how silly a lot of our people are. Instead of
yeah,
acknowledging where these punishments and judgments are coming from, they want to curse the Most High, which is hey, your arm's too short to be boxing with the Lord. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
it's
read on.
impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they blaspheme the name of God, which has power over these plagues,
And he
and
has
they.
power. Hold on. It says he has power over these plagues. But we have to acknowledge who's actually sending these plagues.
That's right.
This is what our people don't really acknowledge where these things are coming from. Fair enough. Even with this virus thing that's going around, we might say, oh, the Chinese them created it, or this man created it, or whoever. The long and short of it is the Most High who put it in these people's mind to do these things, to send these things upon the earth. You know what I'm saying? He's the one who's got power over these. The scripture says that he wounds and he heals. None can't deliver out of his hand. So, it's a no-brainer really when you think that, to repent and make the Most High defend you. Our people don't seem to have what it calls us simple, in it. When you read Proverbs 1 and 2, it says,
Yeah, yeah,
"How
yeah.
these simple ones." Yeah, go on.
And we love simplicity. We
That's
really
right.
do. I mean, rather than looking at what's happening and knowing we have exerted every other avenue. I mean, we've marched, we've rallied, we've done so many things. And there's one thing we haven't done is return back to the Most High with our hearts, mind, and soul. And
Mm,
that's the only thing we haven't done. But yet, rather than doing it, we now will, we will find ways not to want to keep the commandments because we
mm.
think it's too hard for us.
What it
Because
said?
we don't want to give up these things of the world.
That's right. And what you just read, it said they blasphemed the name of the Most High. Was that what it
Yeah,
said? Yeah.
it did indeed. Yep, and they blasphemed the name of God. I'll read verbatim as it's written.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what our
Yeah,
people do. Instead of acknowledging where these things are
yeah.
coming from, they start to curse the Most High on top of it to make matters worse.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make no sense.
No.
Is that finished?
Should I
Is there
read?
more on that?
No, no, there's more. I read on.
Go on.
Which this is where I was before. It says, which hath power over these plagues, and
Mm,
then here's the clangor, and they repented not to give him glory. Now, just what
mm,
the brother was saying a little while ago. They
mm.
repented not
And it
to
says to
give
give
him glory.
glory. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's what we should be praising Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What? Grab Deuteronomy 28. Remember, that
Yep.
he's got power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. Why are you grabbing that? Let me see if I can quickly find this precept to read
Yeah.
before.
Which page you want? I mean, which verse?
58, I want you to start, but let me see if
You
I
want
can.
58.
This is it says that they repented not to give him glory. This is Psalms chapter 40, verse 16. It says, "Let all those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. Let such as love thy salvation say continually, the Lord be magnified." And this is what we have to do. We have to magnify
Khan.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, give him glory.
Shai. Khan.
You know? This is why these people are getting touched up, because they don't want to give him glory. You know, disrespectful, but they're gonna learn to fear that glorious. And actually, instead of me, yeah, it's gonna say, start from verse 58.
Right, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 58. If
And this is in
thou
the
wilt,
hold on. This is in the
yep,
curses. Remember, he said they didn't want to give him glory. Yeah, so
mm-hmm,
that Baba Kasha.
right. It says, if thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law
Yeah,
that are written in this book,
that's right.
yep, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name,
It says,
Yahweh Bashim Yahushai.
it says that thou mayest fear. That's giving him glory. They
Mm-hmm.
don't want to give him glory. So it says, if you don't want to fear, it says this glorious and fearful name. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Yeah, go on. What's he gonna do if you don't want to do that?
Well, here's what will happen, not maybe. This is what will happen. Then,
this is what is happening.
yeah, yeah. That's to put it in proper perspective, brother.
Yeah, this is what is
Yeah,
happening.
yeah. Then Yahweh will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of
It says it will make your plagues wonderful.
mhm, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance,
Now,
and sore sickness.
that
Yeah, I
word,
just finished that bit there.
that word continuance, yeah. Go into it. It lets you know. Hold on, let me quickly see if I can bring it up for the brothers. I'm gonna share my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
26.
There's long continuance. That's letting you know that these things are faithful. When it says long continuance, give me a second. Can you see? Can you see my screen? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the blue letter Bible. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Watch this now. It says that these plagues are going to be of long continuance. Yeah. Give me a second. Now, when we go into this word here, continuance. Yeah, this is what this is. What's happening? Oh, you know what? It's not here. Oh, this is going all funny now. It's not giving me the Strongs on it.
Are you going to get the Strongs on the continuous to break down them?
Yeah. I wonder if it's because I'm sure. Oh, you know what? I meant to go here. Look here. Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
39. Command.
So that's the word, yeah? It says, and so read that again, that bit again. 58.
Right.
59.
No, 59. Verse 59. Deuteronomy 28, verse 59. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance.
It says long continuance. It says
there you go.
To confirm. So this is something he's going to confirm. It says be faithful. Yeah, to support, confirm, be faithful, uphold. Then when you jump down, it talks about to establish, be faithful, be carried, make firm. So these are something that you can, you know, as they say, you can bet your life on. See? Verify, confirm, establish, sure, reliable.
And yep. And also the word continuance also means to continue, meaning long. It's not going to be a short period.
Well,
You know?
long continuance. You know. Yeah, so these, you know, read that again, Babu Shah, from the
Yep. Verse 59 of chapter 28, Deuteronomy. Then the Lord will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continuance, and sore sickness,
go on. Yes.
and of long continuance. There you go.
You know, our people don't want to learn, you know, and no matter how much the Most High jacks them up, they still won't give him glory. They still won't give him glory. So there's another scripture here. Get Jeremiah 6. Just check this out. And this is gonna after the returns. This is why, you know, it's so best to trust in the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And it's true, our people, they love the wickedness that they're speaking of, why they don't want to repent.
Hmm. Jeremiah 6, what verse would you like?
Um, Slacky, give me a second there.
Is it 19 by any chance?
Yeah. Bring that out.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Actually,
is Deuteronomy. Oh, sorry.
start at 16.
16, yep. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 16.
Mm.
I'll read as it's written.
Yeah.
Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the way and see and ask for the old paths
And this is what we're doing.
where,
Hold on, we're picking up these
yep,
old past. You know, these
mm-hmm,
ways that we picked up ain't served us no good. You know what I'm saying? All
mm,
this does is bring us death, destruction, tribulation, anguish. You know, these new paths ain't done us no good. This is why we're coming back to the
no,
past. Yeah.
mm-hmm, yep, that's definitely,
Mm,
yep. I said, and asks for the old paths, where is the good way,
mm,
and walk therein,
mm.
and ye shall find rest for your souls.
Because at the end of the day, that's what we hope to get in it. When you read
Mm-hmm,
Isaiah 14 and 3, where it talks about in that day when the Lord's going to give us rest from our sorrow and from the hard
mm-hmm,
that we're made to serve. Well, this is what we're seeking. This
mm-hmm.
rest was, yeah, read that. Let me continue. Let me get a preset. Hold on, before you go.
Okay. Did you want me to pull Isaiah 14 and 3?
Uh,
I've
hey,
got it. I've got it up here anyway.
yeah, go on then.
Okay. This is the book of Isaiah 14, verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from
So
thy sorrows.
it says that it shall come to pass. So this is something that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It says,
This is future tense
yeah,
here.
defense. Because as you just read in Jeremiah 16 and
Hmm.
16, it says, and ye shall find rest for your souls. So read that again.
Hmm. You want the Isaiah? Yep. Isaiah 14, verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow,
Mm,
and from thy fear,
mm.
and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve.
So it talks about the fear. Like you look at our people in France, what's happening to them? You know, they're rioting
Mm,
because the police is being racist to them. You look at our people
mm-hmm,
in China, what's happening to them? You know, all kind of madness
mm.
happening to them. You know, and
Come
that's
for
because
sure.
they don't want to give the Most High glory. You know, they don't want to fear
Mm,
that glorious, like it says in Deuteronomy 20 and 58, that glorious and fearful name. You know, Yahweh
mm,
power. This is why our people are getting jacked up to this day, man. All right, so jump
mm.
back. Is that finishing Isaiah?
Go back to no. This was only verse 16. I didn't think you got to the point yet. This was on
No,
Jeremiah. Isaiah had finished. Yeah,
yeah. Go back to 16.
yeah. I'll take it from the top again. Jeremiah 6, verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the way and see and ask for the old paths,
Mm,
where it was, Salaki, where is the good way,
mm,
and walk therein,
mm.
and ye shall find rest for your souls.
That's right.
But they said, sorry, go on.
Did our people say?
But this is what our people said. But they said, we will not walk therein.
And that goes back to what we started off with in Second Esdras. You know,
Mm,
Most High
mm-hmm,
sending these scourges, these plagues, or scourges of amendment, but will not turn from our wickedness. You know, we don't want
mm.
to give the Most High glory. Go on.
Verse 17. Also I set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet.
And ain't that
But
what we're
they
doing?
said,
That's what we're
sorry?
doing. That's what we're doing. Like
Oh,
us
yeah.
telling our people to repent, to fix up before the Most High come.
Mm-hmm.
That's us being that trumpet, like it's in Isaiah 58. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet. That's
Mm-hmm.
us warning the people. But it says he set watchmen over you, saying, hearken to the sound of the trumpet. But they said what?
But they said, we will not hearken.
And that's that stiff neck that
Mm-hmm.
we have. We
That
don't.
rebellious Jake spirit we have in us.
That's right.
Mm. Verse 18. Therefore hear ye nations, and know, O congregation, what is among them.
Mm.
Verse 19.
Yeah.
Hear, O Okay, yeah. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people.
This is what we're seeing now. The Most
Mm-hmm.
High bringing these judgment for scourges of amendment, and our people still ain't listening. No matter what you tell them, when we used to be able to go out on the street, you used to see the people just walking up and down, not paying us no mind at all. And now we're
Mm-hmm.
going through these things here, you know, they're still not
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging where these things are coming from. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
God.
For the most part, anyway, we know that 1/3, the elect of Israel, will listen and repent. But
Mm-hmm.
we see it regularly when we go out there. The
Yeah,
majority
and
of them just walking up and down. God.
yeah. And if I can just add to that, Brother Abidyah, like you just said, that like we're bringing out the word, we're coming straight out of the Bible. We're not like we haven't got the Bible closed while we're talking. We're coming straight out of the Bible, and like you said, people just walking about. But as soon as somebody stops to scoff,
Ah, that's right.
that's when you get the crowd.
That's what
So
they want.
that's where they
Oh,
like the folly.
mm, mm,
Just had to make that point. That's
yeah,
the only time they actually stop and listen, when you have a scoffer now. But
mm,
when the word is pure, uninterrupted, they're not interested.
that's right.
Yeah.
Right. They love them.
Okay. Okay. This was I was on verse 19, I believe,
Yeah, yeah.
of Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 19. Hear, O earth, behold, I will bring evil upon this people, even the fruit of their thoughts, because they have not hearkened unto my words. And here we go, here's the part also, nor to my law, but rejected it.
And this is what our people don't really want, really, law and order. They like to be
Mm,
disordered. They don't want to keep the sayings of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. They want to do their own thing at the end of the day. They love
mm-hmm.
the business that they're in. Jump over to chapter 7, verse. Actually, read 7 and 8 first.
Mm-hmm. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, verse 8. Behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit.
So that's like those pastors that's giving you that prosperity teaching. You know what I'm saying?
Khan, definitely.
Like if we was out there saying, um, hey, you're saved by grace, you're not under the law,
Mm,
be jumping they'll be jumping to them,
mm,
give them some smooth words. Actually,
yeah.
that quickly. That's Isaiah
Isaiah 20, is it Isaiah 30?
30 and 13.
Yeah, I think it is 30. Yeah.
30 and 13.
I'll jump across there now. Isaiah, it's either 29 or 30. Yeah, the
I
two.
think it's 30, 30 and 13.
No, it's 30 and 10.
Yeah, 30 and 10. So that's it.
Yeah,
Actually, start at verse 8.
yeah. Okay, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 8. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come, forever and ever.
And you notice that it's written down in a book now. And even when we
Mm,
like this brother that I buck up in Brixton, and I remember I saw him, he goes to me, yeah, you know what, I've been looking for you. So I goes, yeah, what is it? He goes, I found it. I said, what's that? He said, you know, you were saying missing the mark in the Bible. He said, I found it. I said,
mm,
yeah, so where's that? So what he's done now is put out his phone. And I said to him, what Bible is that? He goes, oh, it's the Amplified Bible.
oh,
You know?
oh,
And then he goes to some verse where it's got missing the mark in brackets for sin. And I'm saying, well,
yeah.
if you get in the original text, you're not going to find that day. You
You
know,
don't know, no.
this is what our people like. Even though it's written, I went to 1 John 3 and 4, show him that sin is a transgression of the law,
Mm,
and he keeps rejecting it. You know, so it
mm,
says write in a table and note it in a book. Even though it's noted,
mm,
they trust in them lying words like we read in Jeremiah. Yeah,
yeah.
you them, my brother.
Mhm. Verse 9, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord.
And it goes back to what I
W-
keep saying, is that disobedience. When it comes to doing
Mm,
what the Lord tells us to do, our people want to do their own thing, rejecting what
God.
the scriptures say. Yeah, read on.
Hmm. Which, verse 10, which say to the seer, see not,
Mm,
and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things,
mm,
speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit.
that's it. And that's what
Hmm.
our people love, that deceit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
Because
love.
it's pleasing, it's warm, it sounds nice. And worst of all, the deceit is something you feel you can do.
That's right. That's right.
Mm.
Jump back to Jeremiah 7 now. It says
Hmm.
deceit. So read verse 8 again.
Yeah, Jeremiah 7. Just one moment, bear with me, lucky Israel. Jeremiah 7. Which verse was it you wanted?
7 and 8.
7. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, verse 8. Behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit.
That's them smooth words, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
grace, not under the law. Doing
Mm,
that madness there that our people love to listen to.
mm.
Yeah, man. Read on.
Verse 9.
Yeah,
Will ye stick? Sorry,
jump to 10. Jump to 10. So it says, you trust
jump
in
to,
lying words that cannot profit.
yeah,
Yeah, go to
yeah,
10.
go to 10. um, and come and stand before me in this house,
And this
which
is
is called by my name.
what they do. They trust in the lying words. They go to
Mm,
church, listen to the pastor chatting all kind of nonsense to them, and
mm,
that they're actually serving the Most High. No matter how you bring it,
mm,
like some of them people in the church will actually listen and take heed, but for the most part, what the music that we sing is not music to their ears.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? The music that we sing,
mm,
it's not music to their ears at all, man.
mm.
You got something?
Yeah, just brother, what you were just saying about them going to church, jumping out, and listening to lying words.
Mm,
Um, I just was gonna bring out Acts
yeah.
7:48.
Mm,
Yeah, which reads the book of Acts, chapter 7:48. It says, howbeit the Most High dwelleth not in temples made with hands,
mm,
as saith the prophets.
mm. And that's where
So there, just what the brother was saying.
yeah, that's where they believe the Most High is, isn't it? But you can't
Mm,
do nothing to contain the Lord at the the end of the day.
No.
Yeah, so jump back to Jeremiah 7 and 10 there, bro. Sure.
Yeah. Right. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter. Sorry.
Yeah, clearly, yeah.
Just about, because I've had to have my volume down a bit because remember I
Okay.
can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I've got to kind of listen attentively.
oh well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Try
Yeah.
turn it up a bit more if you need to. I'll let you know if it's echoing, innit?
Well, it's been fine so far, so I don't really want to trouble it.
Alright then, cool.
Yeah.
Alright, go on.
This is why sometimes when you go to say, I have to listen, I realize you're about to say a point, then I stop,
Yeah, no problems.
But yeah, but I can work with what's happening. Anyway, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, verse 10. And come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name, and say, we are delivered to do all these abominations.
And it's the cheek of it, Yeah, our people are really bright. Our people are really bright and out of order, man. Read.
Yeah, verse 11. Is this house, which is called by my name, become a den of robbers in your eyes? Behold, even I have seen it, saith the Lord.
That's right. Let me
Verse,
go on.
yeah.
Finish that off. I'll bring out this precept after.
This was going into verse 12. I'd finished verse 11.
All right. So it says, is this house which is called by my name become a den of robbers in your eyes? Now this is Micah chapter 3, verse 11. It says, the heads thereof judge for reward, and thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet would they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. Now, so this is how wicked our people is. So this is why the Lord has to bring these judgment, But our people don't recognize that these are scourges for us to fix our way up, to the point where the Most High is stretching out his hand and they're just boxing it away. It's only when he lays down that hammer fully now. It says, like you read in Hosea 5:15, in their affliction, they will seek me early, but that early is going to be too early for them. You know what I'm saying? We're the ones who's being afflicted and seeking the Most High early. 2/3 of our people is going to leave it too late, man. Yeah, jump over verse 22.
Right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, verse 22. For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt concerning burnt offering or sacrifice. Verse 23. But this thing commanded I them, saying, obey my voice.
You see that?
And I will.
That's what our people don't want to do. They don't want to obey his voice, don't want to give him glory, don't want to fear that glorious and fearful name.
See, bring it out, brother. Tell them.
Yeah, so you get jacked up for it. You know what I'm saying? You get jacked up for it. Read.
Yeah, obey my voice, and I will be your God, and ye shall.
Go on. Finish that off.
Okay, I thought you were going to say something. Yeah, I shall be your God, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye.
So it says,
and walk ye in. Yeah.
Go on. Finish that off. I'll make my point.
Okay. Yeah. Obey my voice, and I will be your God, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you.
And that's what he said, that it may be well unto you. But it says, obey my voice. Yeah. Now this is a quick precept. This is Jeremiah chapter 11. I'm going to read verse 3. It says, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, cursed be the man that obeyeth not the words of this covenant, Because our people
Mm.
remember that we went into a covenant with the Lord. Yeah, that's
Yep.
the short of it. And he's a covenant keeping God. You know, we're just
Mm-hmm.
covenant keeping people. So he's keeping to his side of the bargain faultlessly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
His side of the bargain faultlessly. And that's what we have to realize. We have to come back to our side of the bargain, our
Yep.
side of the covenant, for him to really protect us. So it says, and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, cursed be the man that obeyeth not the words of this covenant, which I commanded your fathers in the day that I brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, from the iron
Mm.
furnace, saying, obey my voice and do them, according to all which I command you, so shall ye be my people, and I will be your God. Yeah. Now
Mm-hmm.
it says, and it goes on to say, like for us to obey those commandments, the covenant that we made, it says, verse 5, that I may perform the oath which I swore unto your fathers to give them a land flowing with milk and honey, as it is this day. Then answered I and said, so be it, O Lord. So he said, we need to come back to this covenant so that we can perform the oath that he promised to our fathers. You know?
Con.
That's why he's saying, obey my voice and I will be your God, man. Yeah. Read verse 24 now, Jeremiah 7 and 24.
24. Yep. It's the
Actually,
book of Jeremiah.
yeah, read 23 again and go into 24.
Con. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 7, verse 23.
Hmm.
But this thing commanded I them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your God, and ye shall be my people,
Hmm.
and walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that may be Salaki, that it may be well unto you.
That's
Verse
right.
24. Verse 24. But they hearken not, nor incline their ear.
It goes back
But
again. It goes back again to what we started off with. You know,
mhm,
these scourges are sent for amendment, but we're not paying no mind. You know, we're
mm,
not taking heed that these things are for us to rectify our ways.
mm,
This is why we keep getting jacked up as a people. This is why our people in France is having the police take liberties out of them. This is why our people in China is having the Chinese people taking liberties out of them. And
mm.
the thing in China as well, you don't even hear it on the media. It's not as if it's something that's really
No, it's true. You don't hear it.
no.
Mm-mm.
No, if it was someone from these other nations now, you'd hear it on the media. But
Yeah,
because our
I
people,
mean, hmm
you want to say?
no, I was just saying like what we just we confirming what you just said is true because you don't hear it on the media. I mean, the way I heard about it is via social media. I didn't hear
Exactly.
about it on the news.
No, no.
No, it's not reported at all.
And the Lord's making these things happen anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to learn from these scourges which are sent for amendment. He's making these other. Let me get. I was going to bring this precept out anyway. Let me go and get it now.
Okay.
Let me get this. This is Jeremiah. I mean Deuteronomy 28
hmm
and 65.
hmm
It says actually I'm going to read from 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth
hmm
to the other, and there thou shalt serve
hmm
gods. So that's a problem in the first place. Yeah,
hmm
start to serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And that's the biggest
hmm
that our people are caught up in. Yeah, the wood and stone religion, which is Christianity,
Yep.
Islam. And it says, and among these nations thou shalt find no ease. That's what's happening now.
hmm
You know, wherever we go, we're not getting no ease. Even us over here, you know, they
mm
still put laws in place, you know, sneakily, privily, to get
hmm
to be adversely affect our people. So it says, and
hmm
among these nations Yeah, among these nations thou shalt find no ease, neither shall the sole
Mm-hmm.
of thy foot have rest. And that's why
Mm-hmm.
we need that Isaiah 14 and 3. You know?
Yeah. I just got a precept for you on that one you just read.
All right, let me finish this out. You want to,
Yeah,
should
yeah.
I finish it? So it
No,
says,
no, finish it out.
all right, so it says, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee a trembling heart and failing of eyes and
Mm-hmm.
sorrow of mind. You know, and that's what's happening, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You want to bring out your precept?
Yep, the precept to that is I'll go to the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 24, where you just read about being scattered amongst all nations and we're finding no ease. Now, this is what the book of Luke says, and we can see this definitely happened for true. I mean, this is in the Roman times,
Mm.
and it says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So
Now,
that's the. Sorry, go on.
go on, slack it, go on.
No, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you just said that, and they shall fall by the edge of the
Mm,
sword. When I go back to
mm-hmm,
Deuteronomy 28 and 66, it says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee.
mm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
falling by the edge of the sword,
mm-hmm.
and thou shalt fear day
Yep.
and night, and shall have none
Mm-hmm.
assurance of thy life.
Life. Yep. That's the noise.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
It's like this scripture is it's a living book, man, and our people fail to
It
read.
is. It brings it so to life. I mean, if you were to read this and still think it's the so-called Jews in Israel that call themselves Israelis, they don't even call themselves Israelites anyway. They call themselves Israelis. If you were to think it's them, I mean, you've got to be reading from a different book because when did all this happen to them? It
Mm.
never did.
And they themselves read from a different book. They read from what them call it now. Um, what's that book they read from? The Talmud.
The Talmud, isn't it? Yeah,
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 yeah. So they,
yeah.
you know, they don't even touch this, man. But it comes there.
Mm.
All right, let's jump back to Jeremiah
Back
7
to
and
Jeremiah.
yeah, read
Um,
25.
read back on
Oh no, 26 you read, didn't it?
well what I just read was wasn't it 23 into 24?
Yeah, all right, yeah. Slack, yeah. All right, read 24 again.
Mm,
There's a point in there at the
yeah, yeah,
end. Yeah.
because you had paused me before I finished down.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, this is the book of Jeremiah chapter 7 verse 24. But they hearkened not nor inclined their ear, but
Mm,
walked in the counsel and in the imaginations of their evil hearts,
mm.
and went backwards and not forward.
That it says they went backwards. Yeah, that's why the scripture says,
Mm,
trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not on your own understanding. The way the,
gone.
the situations that we're in now, yeah, is because we decided to walk in the counsels. So like Israel, my sinus is playing me up badly. Yeah, the reason why we're in the conditions that we're in now, because we chose to walk in the counsels of our own heart. You know, all we had to do was
Mm-hmm.
listen to the Father, do what He says, walk in His ways, and at the end of the day, we're rehearsing these things. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures lets you know that a righteous man falleth 7 times, but our people don't. They're frightened of falling. You know, like they'd rather stay
Mm,
down instead of walking the walk, falling and getting back up. You know, they just want to stay down there.
mm,
Yeah, man. Read on.
mm-hmm.
25.
Verse 25. Yeah. Since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt
Mm,
unto this day, I have even sent unto you all my servants the prophets daily,
mm.
rising up early and sending them.
And when it says rising up early, that means he's sending it. Like that don't mean yeah, you're getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sending these prophets before destruction come.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's happening
So
now.
you get a pre-warning. You're getting a pre-warning.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's sending prophets out now, early. They're rising up early. This is what brothers are doing, man. Rising up early. Our people, for all this, they would not hearken. And the Most High knows the kind of people that he sent. Get Deuteronomy chapter 30.
Mm-hmm.
Deuteronomy chapter 30.
Deuteronomy chapter 30.
And read from verse 14. Actually, before you go there, read from let's read from 10 and go down.
Okay. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 10.
Hmm.
If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which, okay, if we can say something, which are written in this book of the law,
Hmm.
and if thou turn unto the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul.
Because before that, the verses above that, he's saying that he's going to make us, verse 9 saying, and the Lord thy God would make thee plenteous. So he was telling us if we, what he's going to do for us, yeah, if we hearken unto his voice. Read on.
Yeah, sorry. Just as you say that, even the one above that, like verse 8, it definitely does say what you just actually said. And it says, and it says, and thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. So just like what you said.
Yeah, all right, might as well read 9, man.
To 9, yeah. Either shall command you this day, verse 9, and the Lord thy God will make thee plenteous in every work of thine hand.
You look at us right about now. You get some of our people that seems to prosper in this world, but this is dealing with us as a nation of people. As a nation, we don't really prosper. You hear of things
not at all.
You hear of things like Black Wall Street. How long did that last? Yes, we were doing good for a period of time, but obviously we're still being wicked for the Most High to make everything get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, read on.
Yeah. And he said, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy land for good. For the Lord. Sorry, go on.
No, I said it says for good. You know what I'm saying? When you read Deuteronomy 10 and 12, it says, now Israel, what does the Lord require of thee? When you read down, verse 13, it says, for thy good. All these things, that good can be bestowed upon us. We seem to want to go the opposite direction. You know what the Lord should have done? It's like, when you read the blessings and the curses, verse 1 says, keep my commandments and I'll make you above all these nations. And he jumped to 15, don't keep it. Our people like to do the opposite. So you know what he should have just done? Just gave us verse 15. That's it.
I see your point.
It's verse 15 so that we can do the opposite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. As there was no other option, so we would have done that one.
We might have done
if only, eh?
You might have done the
if
reverse.
only.
Put verse 15 in front of us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. Go on.
Yeah. I'll start from 9 from the top again. Verse 9 of Deuteronomy 30. And the Lord thy God will make thee plenteous in every work of thine hand, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy land for good. For the Lord will again rejoice over thee for good, as he rejoiced over thy fathers.
That's right. Yeah, read on.
Okay. verse verse 10. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God to
That's the
keep his commandments.
so that's the stipulation now. It says if. That's how we're gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's not just gonna
Mm-hmm.
bestow those things upon us just for the sake of bestowing them. You know, we have to do what he says. You know,
Yeah.
and the best thing
Yeah.
to do right about now, when he's sending these
Mm-hmm.
Scourges Amendment, is to repent. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like this at the end of the day, the scriptures have to be found truthful in it. So when it
Yeah.
says, "But for all this, they will not repent," that has to happen.
Mm.
At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
that has to happen, man. Yeah, read
Yeah,
on.
because just as you said, brother, as you said, as he says, if there's always a stipulation. I mean, it's just like any father and his son. You
That's right.
do chastise the one you love, and like you give him a commandment, you give your son or your daughter a commandment, and they don't do it. You're not going to reward them. You
No,
will punish them. So it's the same thing. You know, it's just like if you're walking down the road. Example, you're walking down the road and you saw a bunch of children misbehaving, and your child is amongst that bunch. You're going to pick out your child and punish your child. You're not going to punish everybody that's there. And that's how the Most High works. He punishes his people.
let me bring
I
something out on
mean,
that. Go on,
yeah,
finish it.
yeah.
I want to bring
Yeah,
something.
yeah. I mean, don't worry. I mean, the others will get their judgment, but you will punish your seed.
That's right.
And that's how the Most High looks at us. He chose us, the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and we are the seed of that seed. So we will get punished first, which is exactly what's happening. The others will get their judgment for how they dealt with us, yes. But
That's
he
right.
punishes. I mean, if you are not being chastised by the Most High, you have to worry.
That's
You
right.
have to worry. You,
Like it
yeah,
doesn't.
go on, brother.
Yeah, just to bring out the
Yeah,
point, like you said, you're gonna pick out your child and
yeah.
punish them. So this is Amos chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the
Mm,
whole family which I brought from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you
you. For all
iniquities."
your iniquities. I mean, if that's not clear, I don't know what is.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, right, verse 10. I'll read on. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 10. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and his statutes which are written in this book of
Mm.
the law,
It says this book,
and
not the
yeah,
Talmud, the Torah, Quran, not the book of
no,
Enoch, because some
mm,
of our brothers deal with that still, but the
mm,
we deal with, what we call today the 1611. That is sufficient. You know what I'm saying? That is sufficient,
yeah.
really and
Yeah,
truly.
I believe so. It is also as well.
It's
The
sufficient.
1611 has the 14 missing books that was taken out by the
Yeah.
Protestants in the 18th century. It was removed from the Bible in the 18th century.
Mm.
So
It's
that is sufficient.
yeah. Yeah. Read on.
Hmm. Yeah. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and his statutes which are written in this book of the law, and if thou turn unto the Lord thy God with all thine heart
Mm.
and with all thy soul, verse 11,
Mm.
for this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off.
And our people would
Verse
love that really, because then they'll have an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Our people love an excuse. But the
mm,
most made sure he made it viable and accessible to our people. So there's no real
mm,
excuse. You read on. And these things that he
mm.
next, this is what our people really love, Go on.
Verse 12, it is not in heaven that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it.
Yeah, read on.
Yep, verse 13. Neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it.
And this is what our people would have loved, because then they would have had an excuse, you know.
Mm,
But yeah, I tried to get up to the heavens, but it was a little bit too high, or I tried to go down to the bottom
mm,
sea, but it was a little bit too deep. But I did try. No, no, no,
mm,
no, 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 no. He's put it right there. He's made it plain in front of you. He's put it in a book, right in
mm,
a book, and he's made it plain upon tables. Yeah, read
mm.
it. So,
Verse 14. But the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it.
and to make it even less hard for them to have an excuse, the Most High has raised up brothers to break
Ah,
things,
and definitely.
to give you the understanding. So, there's
Mm,
really no excuse. The Most High has raised up brothers to break things down and give you the understanding. So
mm,
it's just laid, as I say, it's laid out on a platter. You know what I'm saying? All you have to do is eat. But our people don't want to eat from this book. They don't want to eat this roll.
mm.
They want some dry, stale roll, which ain't been doing us no good, just giving us bad belly from the time we start yam it.
Mm.
It won't argue, man. Yeah, read on.
And just to add, and if they do even try to eat from this roll, they'll skip all the Old Testament and they'll live in the New Testament on Paul's writing, because you can manipulate Paul's writing if you don't study.
John
You
3:16.
know,
John
there's a fine example. Yeah, fine example. Yeah. Deuteronomy 30, verse 15. See, and here's the point also.
Right.
See, I have set before thee this day life and good,
Mm.
and death and evil.
And our people have
So you
chosen,
choose.
yeah, for the most part, our people have chosen death and evil. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
You can have that remnant, that elect, that's going to choose life and good, and
gone.
Yahweh Ratazar, we're part of that number. Those of you that's listening and learning, Yahweh Ratazar, you're part of that number. But the majority of
Mm,
our people, they're choosing death and evil. It's
mm-hmm,
a no-brainer when you think about it. But actually, you know what's happening? Get me Isaiah 28.
mm-hmm,
Isaiah 28 and read verse 13. And
mm-hmm.
let me quickly see if I can find something before you read that. Um,
Yep. Go on.
Before you read that, let me see if I can find it. Uh, through the precepts. Yeah, this is Psalms
Mm-hmm,
119, 104. It says, "Through thy precepts I get understanding, therefore I hate every therefore I hate every false way." So this is how we get the understanding, how to learn to accept that good that the Most High has put
mm-hmm,
for us. Yeah. But
mm-hmm.
some of our people, now Isaiah 28 and 13.
Yeah. Can I just quickly read before I get that? Just as what you said,
Yeah.
Psalms 119. I think it's 119, verse 100.
You want
I
me to
mean,
read?
it just makes a point.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'll read. I'm there. I'll read it and you can break it down if you want. Make your point on it.
Hang on. I just want to make sure that's the one I'm looking for.
More than the Asians.
Yep, that's the very one.
So this
Yeah,
is
there
Psalm
it is. Yeah.
19 verse 100, it says, I understand more than the ancients because I keep thy precepts.
And there you go. And that's just the point I wanted to make, because even King David said he understands more than the people that were before him, because he done something simple that they didn't do. He kept thy precepts.
That's
And
right.
that's why he understood more than the ancients, the ones who were there before him. That's what he's telling us clearly. So you keep the precepts, you can be just as wise and be favored like David was. Because even if you notice in the scriptures, the Most High refers to David a lot. He says, just like my servant David. You'll find that quite a lot in the scriptures.
That's right. But because our people don't want to do that, they don't want to hate every false way. These same that give us understanding, what's it going to do to them? So Isaiah 28 and 13.
Right. Yep. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, verse 13. But it says, but
through the precepts.
sorry?
I said, this is how we get our knowledge and understanding, through the precepts. You know what I'm saying? And hating every false way. But our people, because they don't want to hearken now. This is what the precepts does to them. Read on.
It says, but the word of the Lord was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backwards and be broken and snared and taken.
So these same precepts that give us understanding, because they want to stay in their wickedness, it becomes a snare unto them. A lot with our brothers and sisters using the Christian church. When you try and show, like I said, that brother, I read to him 1 John 4, where sin is is the transgression of the law, and he wants some amplified Bible where it says in brackets, missing the mark, and he wants to tell me that is sin.
That is it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I can understand. Said, well, sin is the transgression of the law, and if you're not doing that, then you're missing the mark. I can understand that.
At least you could have relate to that. Yeah.
But he wants to totally wipe out anything to do with the law. So we're missing the mark. Some words in brackets, in part of the text as such. Our people,
and just just to add, as that verse 13 as we read, when it says precept upon precept. Now we must remember, precept is a command. So what he's showing you, he keeps it in command upon command, and precept upon precept. So it's command upon command. Then it says line. Then it says line upon line. That's keeping it in the context. So you must keep it in the context of what you're reading. Keep it in the context. And then it says here a little, there a little, meaning a little from this verse and a little from that verse, a little from the New Testament, a little from the Old Testament. It pieces it together like a jigsaw puzzle. It's just like when you buy a jigsaw puzzle and you open that box, it's never already made up. You have to now take time and find the pieces and put it together so you can see the whole picture. That's the whole point of precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Yeah, that's all I just wanted to add.
Yeah, man. Cool. That's good. That's beautiful. Baruch chapter 3 from the bro.
Book of Baruch.
Because for all this, for all this, our people, for the most part, they won't hearken, they won't listen. Baruch chapter 3, read verse 8. And then
verse 8.
Yeah, then jump to and walk down actually. Read down actually.
Okay, yep. Okay, this is the book of Baruch from the Apocrypha, chapter 8. Chapter 3, verse 8. It's lucky Israel, chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast.
A lot of our people don't even want to acknowledge the fact that we're still captives. They can walk about You know, it's not like when
Yep.
our ancestors had the chains around their neck, or you know,
Yep.
our children was taken from us and sent off at will. You know,
Mm.
there's a same style, different fashion.
Yep.
That's what we're going under now. Same style, which is captivity, just different style of captivity. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, read that again, Baba Kisha.
Yep. Say, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a
Mm,
curse.
mm,
And here's the point as well, and to be subject to payments
mm.
according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God.
That's right.
Now, just as what you were saying, Brother Abidyah, that like a lot of people don't want to acknowledge that we are still in this captivity because we can walk about and this and that, and we feel free. But if we're so free, try to go to another country without getting permission
That's right.
from the government. Then you'll see how free you are.
Yeah, Master, I forgive your permission. Yeah, so
That's exactly, and you work now. Okay, what they're trying to say now, before you used to have to work and you'd get whipped if you didn't work and you never got no pay. But what you're doing now, you're working and you're getting paid, but what's happening, they're taking a lot back in taxes.
that's right. But when you look into the
So you
history,
you know
Slacky, when
sorry.
you look into the history of it, one of the reasons they stopped slavery was because it was becoming unprofitable to do things that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, but there was, sorry to cut you, there was also two reasons of that. One was what you said as well, but the other also, do you remember the Civil War started and they needed troops?
yes, yes,
That was another reason. This is why when you check it, you'll see the emancipation was 1863, but that's
mm,
when the Civil War broke out. So they needed people to enlist.
that's right.
So they needed the slaves now to fight for them.
Mm.
And that was another reason. Sorry, brother.
And it says here to be
Mm.
subject to payments. When
Mm.
when they freed us, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm. When they so-called remove the yokes, the physical ones off our neck, but the
Yeah,
ones in our mind still remains.
oh, they're strong for a lot of our people.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they freed us. They compensated the slave owners for
Ye-
liberating their
ye-
slaves. And you know
Definitely.
the cheek of it, yeah. The Treasury,
Mm.
they put up a quote. I forgot how the quote goes, how the quote went, but they were saying how, basically saying, yeah, we've finished paying this debt off now. Because what they were doing, they were using our taxpayers' money to pay the descendants of these slave owners the money what they
Mm.
the slave owners.
For
And
so-called loss of earnings.
yeah, and to make
Yeah.
matters worse, you know they use 40% of the national budget to pay them off. That's
Mm.
money,
Mm-hmm.
40%. Oh Lord, it's like I think if I remember rightly in the article, it said it amassed to about 20 million back then.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
percent of the national budget they use, and the Treasury put up a tweet how yes, basically saying yes, we've finished paying this debt off now. You know, this was in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the liberty they're doing, like still subject to payments, man. Yeah, taxing
Mm.
out. Like Yahushua said, give unto Caesar that which is Caesar's, roughly paraphrasing. That's what we're doing
Yeah.
now. You know, we're paying taxes
Mm-hmm.
to Caesar. We're giving unto Caesar that which is Caesar. But the flip side of that, he said, give unto the Most High, which belongs to the Most High.
Which belongs to you. That's it. So we
Our
have
people,
to. We can't do one and not the other.
yeah, they don't want to do that part. They want to deal
Mm.
with Caesar and disregard the Most High. You know, they don't want to put
Mm-hmm.
that glorious and fearful name, Yahweh thy power. You know, they don't want to put no
Mm-hmm.
respect on the name. And they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn to put respect on the name. One way or the other, our people's gonna learn. You know?
Yep.
Yeah, man. Jump back to Baruch there, brother Shah.
Back to Baruch. Yep. Baruch 3 verse 8. Shall I start at 8 again and read down?
Yeah, make them hear it again, man.
Yep, Khan. Right. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse,
Mm,
and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers,
mm,
which departed from the Lord our God.
mm.
Verse 9. Hear Israel. Oh, verse 9. Yeah, hear Israel the commandments of life.
It says, "Hear
Give
Israel."
ear.
Hold on. It says, "Hear Israel." That's who we're talking to. You so-called white
Mm-hmm,
Latinos and Native American Indians, those
mm-hmm,
scattered throughout the speckled birds. These are who we're talking to. We're not talking
mm-hmm.
to the whole nation. It says, "Hear Israel, the commandment of life," because the commandment
Commandments.
is only given
Right.
to us. Yeah, that's why he said in Amos 3 and 2, "Therefore I will punish you for all your
Yep.
iniquities," because he never gives
Yep.
laws to the other nations.
Yep.
It's that
And
simple,
that's
man.
why, yep. And that's
Yeah.
why even in Isaiah 28, where
Mm,
it says precept upon precept, line upon line, keeping it in the context. Now
mm,
that's a perfect point of keeping it in context. So we know who he was talking to, who he was referring that to. It wasn't referred to the whole world.
that's right. You sure God
Hmm.
never loved the world?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Verse 9, the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 9.
Mm,
Hear Israel, the commandment of life.
of
Give
life.
ear to understand.
Now say the
Mm,
commandment of life.
of life. Yeah.
Actually,
Give.
before you read on, let me quickly read. All right, finish that verse.
Yeah.
I'm going to read a precept. Go on, Slakia.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. It says, "Hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give
Mm.
ear to understanding wisdom."
Now, this is, when it says the commandment of life. This is Baruch, chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "This is the book of the commandment of the Most High, and the Lord that endure forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but
Mm,
leave it shall die."
die.
That's
Yep.
what our people want. You know, they want that death and evil that we read
Mm-hmm.
in Deuteronomy chapter 30.
Mm-hmm.
They want
Yeah.
that evil. They don't want the good. You know, it says, all they that keep it shall come to life. Then it says, "Turn thee, O Jacob." So that's the repentance part.
So,
Yeah,
yep. And it's keeping it in context. It's showing you again who he's talking to, who he's referring it to.
that's right. That's right. It says,
Mm-hmm.
"Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated." That says, "Walk in
Mm.
the light." Now, let me quickly bring a precept on that again.
Yeah.
Our
It's to show who the light is.
Yeah, this is, and I'm going to their favorite book, John chapter 3, where it says, "Walk in
Mm-hmm.
the presence of the light." This is John chapter 3, verse 19. It says, "And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deed were evil." So this is why they don't want to turn from their wicked ways. This is why when he's
Mm.
sending Scourges for amendment, they don't want to amend their ways, because
Mm.
they prefer darkness over light, because their
Mm-hmm.
deeds are wicked and evil. So therefore,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to give you, you know, like my grand used to say, you know, if you run down trouble, trouble will catch you up. Yeah, our people
Definitely.
are running down trouble. So when trouble catches them up now, it's like it's a problem. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because your deeds are evil and you don't want to repent. You don't want to walk in the light. You want to walk in
Mm.
darkness, believing that the Most High can't see you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's no such thing as dark to the Most High. Yeah,
Mm.
what we call dark, he sees just as clear as if we're in the daytime.
Mm-hmm.
People have to realize, man. So it says,
Mm-hmm.
"Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it." Take hold of what? These words, man.
Mm-hmm.
The spirit of the Most High. Take hold of it. says, walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated. You know, our people don't want to shine. Yeah, this is
No.
when you're a baller.
Hmm.
This is when you're shining. Now you think
Hmm.
about your fancy car that they call fancy in their day. You know, you have your big chain, your nice house. Yeah, you think you're balling, you think you're shining. No, you're not shining until you're in this word, man. Yeah, this is
Hmm.
gonna be shining when you're gonna be illuminated. Yeah,
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah. And that light that the brother was talking about, the light is Yahushai.
That's right.
That's the light we've got to walk into.
That's
I
right.
mean, yeah.
Now, hold on, let me quickly bring something out. Now you said that.
Just prompt you on that one, eh?
Yeah, well, you said that light is power shy. It's
Yeah.
First Peter chapter 2, verse 21. It says, for ere
Hmm.
even hereunto were ye called, because a Mashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should
Cool.
follow his steps. Yeah, it says,
Steps. That's
did
it.
no sin, neither was guile found in his mouth. So
Mouth.
that,
Hmm.
that is Yahweh Shai, and he showed us how to step. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But our people don't want to walk how you walk. They don't want to
Hmm.
talk how you talk. Yeah, them are
Hmm.
those in the world thinking that they're doing a good thing.
Hmm.
You know, they
Hmm.
don't love the light,
Yeah.
man. They don't love the
Hmm.
light.
And yeah, and as you just said in verse 21, I think it was, where he said, and he did not sin, and there was no guile found in his mouth. Now that shows you now he did not sin, meaning he did not break any of the commandments of the Most High.
You
And
say
there
what?
was no guile found in his mouth, meaning there was no deceit. So when he said something, he meant it.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's jump back to read verse
Jump back to verse 10.
9 and
I was
9.
on Book
Yeah.
3, verse 10.
All right.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you.
Give them 9 again. Slack here. Give them verse
So,
9.
yep, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah, give them 9. Yep. Right, this is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 9. Hear, Israel, the commandments of life.
Mm.
Give ear to understanding wisdom.
Says wisdom.
Hmm.
Our people don't like wisdom. You know, it says, how long ye simple ones will ye love simplicity, and fools hate
Mm.
knowledge? You know, this is the true wisdom, man. You can't get better wisdom than this. You know, but our people, what can I say? Yeah, read on. Read on.
Yeah, verse 10. How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land,
Mm,
that thou art waxen old in a strange country, that
mhm.
thou art defiled with the dead?
And that's a question. It says, how come you end
Yeah.
up there? That's what it's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. How
Mm.
come you there where you there?
Mm-hmm.
Use these Scourges for amendment and think on your ways. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it's like, don't our people really think they I'm sure they do think, but they don't think deep enough. It's like, why is it our people always going through these situations? Why is our people
Mm.
at the bottom? It's like, I'm sure some of them must think that, but it's like when you bring them the answer just ain't good enough. It's like they don't want that answer. They want something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, because their deeds are evil. Fear God and keep his commandments. That's why we're in this situation, because we don't fear him. We don't give him glory. We don't want to keep,
Mm.
because you don't want to have faith. This is why we're in this thing. It says, how happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land? Like, how come we're over here?
Mm.
How come we're not in our own land? You
Mm.
know, governing
So
over our own
he's
stuff.
trying to get you to think on these things.
That's
Yeah.
right. You know,
Mm.
sure. Yeah, read on, Baruch, sure.
Hmm. Verse 11.
And it says,
That thou,
hold on, and it says that we are
yep,
defiled with the dead.
dead, yep.
Yeah, because when you read Proverbs 21:16, it says, the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the
Mm.
congregation of the dead.
Congregation of the dead, yep.
These other nations don't have no understanding. Otherwise, they
Mm.
won't be doing the things that they're doing now. Yeah, but we
Mm.
follow their ways, which is why we're defiled with the dead. You know, a lot of our people are going to get judged with the dead. You know, they're dead man walking. That's what a lot of our people are, man. Yeah,
God.
ridiculous, man. Yeah, still up here. Go on.
Yeah. Verse 11, that thou art counted with them that go down into the grave.
Yeah, that's with the dead. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Read on.
Verse 12, thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom.
Oh, let,
Verse
let me
13.
hold on before you move on. Let me see if I can
Yep.
reset. It says, thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom. Let me see this. This is 2 Samuel. Yeah, it says, this is 2 Samuel, chapter 22, verse 31. It says, as for the Most High, his way is perfect. Imagine that.
Mm.
The word of the Lord is tried.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, when they said tried and tested, it's
Yeah.
tried and tested. Like when you read the scriptures,
Mm-hmm.
and actually grab a precept for me. Hold that in Baruch, and grab
Yeah.
Sirach 2 and 10.
1 second. Just gonna say something here.
Yeah, no problems. Yeah, bring it out, man.
No,
Yes.
no, no. Just
Go on, I'll read that again whilst you're looking for your
yeah.
thing.
Read that again. I'm just sending you something
Okay,
onto
so
your phone.
all right. This is Sirach. Sirach. 2 Samuel chapter 22, verse 31. It says, as for the Most High, his way is perfect. The
Mm-hmm.
word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all them that trust in him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you want to bring that up? Bring out. Oh, you
Are
want
we,
me? Hold on, give me a second.
yeah.
Okay. All right, we're gonna.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to. It
All
will
right.
cut soon, shortly.
It says, for who is the Most High save the Lord, and who is a rock save our power? You know.
Mm-hmm. Which one did you want me to bring out?
Um, just go back. You good. Just go back, because
We're
our
on
rock.
to Baruch still.
Yeah. Go back to Baruch. So we keep forsaking the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Mm-hmm.
rock like our rock. Their rock is not like
No.
our rock. Yeah.
Mm.
I'll read that again and then we close out, my Brother Shah. 12 and 30.
Yeah. Right. Verse 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 12. Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom.
Mm.
Verse 13. For if thou hadst walked in the way of God, thou
Mm.
should have dwelled in peace forever.
Yeah. And this is what we're telling our people, man. Recognize
Mm,
these scourges as scourges for amendment. Yeah.
mm,
And repent, man, so that you can walk in peace forever. That you can
God.
receive all the blessings that the Most High promised to our forefathers, man. How much battery you got? You got enough to read one more precept?
Yeah. I think I've
Get
only
me
got
there.
about. Let me just checking it. I've got 13%, so it should. It's
All right.
down to 13, but it's gone on red.
All right. Get Sirach,
But
Sirach 2 and
yeah, I'm
10.
good.
Yeah, get Sirach 2 and
Yeah,
10. Then I'll bring out one more. Let me, Sirach 2 and 10. Before you read that,
so right, 2 verse 10. Yeah.
yeah. Now, let me put
Okay,
the,
I've got it.
this is Deuteronomy 32 and 31. It says, for their rock is not as our rock. This is what our people have to recognize.
Mm,
These nations ain't
yeah.
got God. Yeah. So the rock that they're standing on is not like Fiwi.
Mm,
Yeah. Our rock is
mm-hmm.
firm, it's solid. Yeah. It says, for their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is of the vine of Sodom and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall, their clusters are bitter. Yeah, so we want to stand upon all these other things when we got a solid, tried and tested, man. Yeah, tried and tested. Now bring out your Sirach and then we're gonna close that, brother. Sure. Yeah.
Well, you might get a couple more in I think we can get a couple more in because I'm on 13%.
All right.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah,
So
bring out your
we'll take it to the wire.
yeah, 'cause it says all right,
That's how
so
much we love Israel.
it says all right, it says
I'll read.
yeah, it says
Did you want
their
me to
rock.
read?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Now it says
Sorry,
their
go on.
rock.
I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, their rock is not as our rock. Yeah, and we're
Yeah.
standing on a rock that is tried and tested and is
Mm.
perfect. Yeah. So let me read
Mm-hmm.
second Samuel 22:31 again. It says, as for the
Okay.
Most High, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He's a buckler to all them that trust him. Yeah.
Mm.
Who is the Most High save the Lord? And who is a rock save our power? You know,
Mm-hmm.
there's no other rock than our God.
Not at all.
You
It's
know,
only the one.
that's right. So read
Mm-hmm.
your Sirach 2:10, Baba Kishar.
Sirach. Okay, this is the book of Sirach or
This is tried
Ecclesiasticus.
and tested, man. This is the tried and tested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 2, verse 10.
Mm,
Look at the generations of old and
mm,
see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded?
that's right.
Or mhm. Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever displease that called upon him?
Yeah, despise. Who did he ever despise that called upon him? So this is what we have to
Mm,
recognize these scourges as scourges.
mm-hmm,
You know, come back to our God.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to finish off with this. This is Second Samuel, yeah, chapter 22, and I'm going to read from verse 2.
Second Samuel.
Yeah. And he said, the Lord is my rock and my fortress,
Mm-hmm,
my deliverer. That's who's going to deliver us. No other rock you can
mm-hmm.
call upon can save you. There's only one rock,
None.
our
Yep.
Yahweh Shai. Yeah, that's
Shy.
the only savior and deliverer we have. The Father is
Mm-hmm,
the Son. It's that simple, man. And if you don't want to recognize that, then these scourges are going to get worse till you're vaporized. It says, so
mm-hmm,
Samuel 22:2, and he said, God is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. It says, the power of my rock, in him will I trust. He is my
mm-hmm,
and the horn of my salvation, my high tower and my refuge, my salvation, thou savest
mm,
from violence. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Read verse 4. I will call upon
I like that last one you just read where it says, thou savest me from violence.
yeah, from the
It's a
violent
key
man and
statement.
yeah, the scripture talks about the violent.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah. Verse 4. I
mm-hmm,
will call on the Lord who is worthy to be praised. Like it says
mm,
in like you read in Revelation 6:9, they don't want to
yeah.
glorify the Most High. Yeah.
Mm,
It says, I will call on the Lord who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. Yeah. That's how we're going to be saved from our enemies, man.
mm-hmm.
How much
And
our shy.
yep, just before you say that, and we have to acknowledge we do have enemies because we all like to say, oh, shouldn't we all just get along? Yeah, it'd be nice. But, you know, the scriptures tell us we have enemies, so we must acknowledge who they are.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm,
Brother, sure. All right. So give me a second. I think I might
mm-hmm.
read one more verse on this. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
So it says this. I'll read verse 4 again. It says, I will call on the
Okay,
Lord.
I'm still doing good. I got 9%, so you can still go on a bit more if you like.
Says, I will call on the Lord who is worthy to be praised, so shall I be saved from mine enemies. Verse
Mm-hmm,
7 says, the Lord liveth, and blessed be my rock, and exalted
mm-hmm,
power of the rock of my salvation. Yeah, it is
mm,
that avengeth me, and that bringeth down the people under me. Yeah, and that bringeth
mm,
forth from mine enemies. Thou also hast lifted me up on high above them that rose up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent man. So our people in France who's getting jacked up, our people in China who's getting jacked up, our people who've been scattered throughout all the world, the four quarters that's been getting jacked up. Yeah, outside that's gonna avenge us if we fear that glorious and fearful name, Yahweh thy power. It says in Deuteronomy 28:58. Fear the glorious and fearful name. Give him praise, man. Yeah, he's gonna give you praise. You know, recognize these scourges as amendment, and don't get upset about it. Don't get vexed, and then you in a box where his hand don't wanna have nothing to do with him. Because that's the wrong thing to do, man. There's no other rock like our rock. They ain't got no rock like our rock. Yeah, it's only the Lord that saves, man. Yeah, salvation is Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. There's nothing else is gonna help you. So our people need to just learn from these scourges and amend your ways before it's too late. Yeah, before it's too late, man. You want to say anything? Close out?
Yeah, I was just going to say, like you saying, that we have to amend our ways for sure. And I'll just give a scripture on that. Ecclesiasticus 5, I'll start at 3. It just says, and say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride. And verse 4, say not.
And that's what a lot of our people have, really.
Yeah.
Pride, you know, because they think they know better. Yeah, that's pride. They think they know better, man, but they don't. Read on, my brother.
Yeah, and it says, and say not, I have sinned, and what harm has happened unto me. And that's what a lot of our people do. I've sinned, and what? You know, they don't care. But then it says also, sorry.
Now saying that's that wickedness. That's that wickedness.
Yeah.
Don't
so it says
the light. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely not. So it says, say not, I have sinned, and what harm has happened unto me. Then it says, for the Lord is long suffering. He will in no wise let thee go. So you will pay for them if you don't repent.
That's right.
Yeah. And that's a sure thing. The Lord has spoken it.
That's why the scripture says, you know, all sin can be forgiven except blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. So it's not going to be forgiven in this. Actually, quickly grab in this life or the next. Quickly grab 2nd Ezra 7 and 56. No.
2nd Ezra.
Yeah, 2nd Ezra 7:56. It says you will not be pardoned. You will not be pardoned. Our people think that they can do their wickedness and get away with it. Yeah. All right. Let's see what it says.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, verse 56. For while we lived and committed iniquity, we considered not that we should begin to suffer for it after death.
That's the power we serve, man. There's no rock. No rock. You can't escape judgment. Yeah.
Go on.
No, that's what I wanted, man.
Okay, you wanted that one. Okay.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. Yeah, our people can't escape judgment. So
no, even after death, you will not escape it, because the scriptures does say in Christ, the ones in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai will be risen first.
That's right.
But everybody will get their meat of judgment.
Yeah, it's either you're going to be raised to be glorified.
Yep.
Be raised for judgment. You know, take your pick. Take your pick. Yeah. With that, we're going to close out. We're going to say, Kwam Yasharala, Israel.
Kwam Yasharala, Israel. Yeah. And we'll see you all tomorrow on the,
Yeah.
We're back out here tomorrow.
That's right.
Doing what we love doing, bringing the word.
That's right. Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.